So I have had a lot of fun lately in Rome 2 due to the Blade Balance mod made by Blade Master, and therefore I have a couple of replays to show you in Rome 2 with the Blade Balance mod. The Blade Balance mod is all about making Total War Rome 2 better in terms of multiplayer. It wants to give to each faction a flavor, so that, and basically make some sort of each faction viable in a matchup so they at least have a chance of winning. Right now, we're in a game. I'm playing as Pontus, and I'm playing against Blade Master himself, the maker of the mod. Props to him. I will put a link down into the description to the mod. Now let's get over the Let's go over the armies and let's get this battle going. So I'm gonna put this in slow motion. My army is split up in 3 contingents. I have a left flank, a center, and a right flank. I am in the front. I have 3 Eastern archers, backed up by 2 Eastern javelinmen and 4 Cappadocian cavalry. In my center I have a spearman, a Pontic swordsman, and a scythe chariot. On my right flank 3 Eastern archers, 1 Eastern javelinman, and 4 noble blood calf. Now for Blade Master, he also has 3 contingents. You can see right here. He has a left flank, a center, and a right flank. On his left flank we have a Lusitani swordswoman. Lusitani swordswoman. I haven't seen those in quite a while. And we have Balearic slingers, very expensive slingers. These are really expensive. Veteran shield warriors and 2 Scutari calf. In the center we have another Lusitani swordswoman, 2 more Balearic slingers, and veteran shield warrior, a Lusitani noble as general, and a Scutari spearman with 2 Scutari cavalry. And on his right flank we see 2 more Scutari cavalry, another veteran shield warrior, another Lusitani swordswoman, and another Balearic slinger. So let's press play. Basically what's happening, I'm going to push very heavily on this side, and so Blade Master is immediately going to start falling back, and he's basically just going to rotate that. Instead of the matchup that we had here is basically going to switch over here. So we're basically just going to rotate, although Blade Master is going to be brave and is going to try to take an engagement with this. He is going to stand over here, he's going to prepare his troops over here to basically crash into my flank, while he is actually going to try to take an engagement over here at the front. The problem with my army is I cannot allow myself to get into any engagements with his swords, and I need to protect my my skirmish at all cost with my cavalry and my very little infantry, and of course I have the chariot for the infantry to clean it up later as all the cavalry and Balearic slingers are gone. That is basically my strategy. I'm gonna focus these swordswomen over here. They already went down to like 100 men. I'm gonna charge them, and they're just basically gonna get wrecked in the charge. We have the Scutari cavalry charging with the noble blood with the Cappadocian cavalry, and this is gonna be really painful for both cav units. I'm gonna counter-charge into the Scutari cavalry with another Cappadocian cavalry, and I'm gonna send out another one to just make sure I clean this up as fast as possible. We have my archers just firing into the mass. Lusitani swordswomen are just obliterated by all these volleys, and their armor isn't that great. Well, actually, hang on, I did not see their armor. Let's check over here. They have 15 armor, so they are really vulnerable to missiles. We have a Scutari cavalry coming in for my skirmishers, but it's not gonna make it. I managed to get a noble blood calf just in time to countercharge this unit, and I'm gonna run away with my Cappadocian calf over here. So I didn't get tied up into these spear units, these guerrillas. Now I cannot afford to get into a fight with any sort of infantry, but here I do get in a fight with the noble Lusitani swordswoman whilst I'm fighting with the Scutari cavalry over here. I've got my Cappadocian cavalry who is finishing off the Scutari cavalry, but is losing a lot of men to these Cappadocians. Although I am firing into the Lusitani swordswoman, I'm also doing a lot of friendly fire myself. Over here I managed to kill off the Scutari cavalry, and I'm gonna go through and charge probably this unit as well. The Balearic slingers are continuously firing into my cavalry, into this cavalry block. They're getting a lot of kills on cavalry. These Balearic slingers are really good and are really one of the main powers of this Lusitanian army. So I'm gonna send probably a cavalry after these Balearic Slingers and after the Scutari Cavalry. I'm gonna countercharge the stationary Scutari Cavalry and I'm gonna charge it into these Swordswomen. With my Pontus Swordswomen I'm gonna go into Shield Wall so they will last for a while, even though I think in general, no, the Lusitani Swordswomen are better. That was a good choice by me. I'm gonna fire into the Lusitani Swordswomen, finish them off, charging with my chariots into the veteran Shield Warriors. Scutari Cavalry almost getting to my chariots, but I pull away right in time and charging in with my cavalry, and now I'm just gonna start pulling through all over the place and basically rout this whole contingent over here. We have, of course, these Eastern archers routing because of all the fire from the Balearic Slingers, but right now I'm concentrating my own fire into the Balearic Slingers, and I'm gonna charge a cavalry unit. Blade Master cannot protect this. He has to commit his general and all these veteran shield warriors to get out of position, so I'm gonna just readjust my fire, although I'm getting, like, it's raining precursors over here. So I managed to almost rout a Balearic Slinger. I'm now just firing onto the infantry of Blade Master, while my chariots over here are basically cleaning up these forces over here. This Scutari Cavalry will eventually lose against these two cavalry, but the Balearic Slingers are firing for free into the chariots. I need to get over here, or I need to get to the chariots. I'm probably going to dispatch one cavalry unit to get rid of this Balearic Slinger. And right now over here I'm going to have to pull back, though these Balearic Slingers are actually really getting some kills on my skirmishers right here. My cavalry over here is still alive, keeping all these units contained over here, which just works to my advantage, and since they're so clumped up, I can freely charge with my chariots and pull through into this blob of infantry and cavalry. This is going to do a lot of damage to the Lusitani general, basically bringing them down with 14 men already. So I cleaned up this side. I'm running actually back from these Balearic Slingers, something I shouldn't do probably because these Scutari Spearmen are coming in to the fray as well. These Veteran Shield Warriors charge into my Pontus Swordsman. Pontus Swordsman still in Shield Wall. I think Blade Master not noticing these guys were in Shield Wall was definitely one of the big factors that my general held on for such a long time. Now my chariots routed off the field, 369 kills, really good. They actually come back, which I actually did not notice. I could maybe use that to get over here to the Balearic Slingers or get to the Lusitani nobles. And right now, I got rid of all the cavalry of Blade Master. All he's got left are some Balearic Slingers, which are really a pain in the ass. But I have cavalry to basically threaten all those Balearic Slingers so that I can use my own archers and my own skirmishers freely to basically get rid of all the infantry of Blade Master. Now I'm gonna start to use flaming arrows to try and work on the morale. And I just really need to get out with my Eastern archers since they have very low morale. They're very fragile units, they can rout easily. I'm gonna flank with my Noble Blood Calf, and I'm gonna charge into these Balearic Slingers, which are basically clumped up, so they're gonna be an easy target for the Noble Blood Calf. But Blade Master is gonna try and run away with them, and he is of course coming in with his general, so I'm gonna have to be really careful with my cavalry unit over here. Since I don't want to lose it, I want this cavalry unit to basically clean up all these Balearic Slingers over here. But as I said, Blade Master is now busy trying to kill this cavalry unit. So right now I can basically fire freely at Blade Master's troops over here without these Balearic Slingers firing at my own skirmish, because in the long run the Balearic Slingers are just a much better and more cost-effective skirmish unit than my Eastern Javelin Men and Eastern Archers. Because Eastern Archers are just really cheap, but they do have some good damage, so that's why I took them in very large numbers. I'm gonna fire in the back of these Scutari Spearmen. I'm using flaming arrows to get basically some morale debuff, but it's actually useless since the general of Blade Master is still alive. Running with my general, gonna try to scare away the Balearic Slinger over here so I can basically get it somewhat out of position and charge it with my remaining cavalry unit. You've got a Scutari Spearman over here. I could actually charge it with my Noble Blood, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take the risk. We have these Lusitani guerrillas with only 15 armor routing, and I'm gonna get rid of that skirmisher over there with my cavalry unit. And this Noble Blood Cav is really just a pain for the ass. It's just really a pain in the ass for Blade Master, considering that I just like, if I did not have cavalry left, Blade Master still might have gotten a chance with the Balearic Slingers, just because how good they are. Charging into this Skutari Spearman with my general is most likely going to rout them, but these Slingers over here are really bringing in the fire, and it might end up just killing my general. And losing my general is something I can't really afford, since all these units are so class. Like, they're so bad. The Eastern Archers, they rout very easily. We have Headhunt popping on the Lusitani nobles, so I'm just going to be pulling back. And now, since the Balearic Slingers are basically this unit is routing, but it will probably come back. There we go. Too bad it didn't shatter. So I'm gonna go with my cavalry and run over there. And right now I'm just gonna split up my archers, who are basically almost out of ammo, and I'm gonna keep firing at these Lusitani nobles. These archers are out of ammo, so I'm just gonna be fake charging so that Blade Master turns his side, that I can fire into his backs. Got a cavalry unit charging in as well. You can just see the damage that it's doing, and that is the game. Definitely the chariots won me the game, there is no doubt. I think without the chariots I wouldn't have been able to pull this off. But this was a sick game nonetheless, in the Blade Balance mod. Anyway, thank you guys for watching.